Shalom Havarim, James Trim here, and today I want to talk to you about Kabbalah. There's a lot of misconceptions about Kabbalah, and when a lot of people, particularly from a Christian background, hear the word Kabbalah, their minds jump to red strings, celebrity mysticism, even occult magic. But here's the truth. Not everything that gets called Kabbalah is genuine Jewish Kabbalah, and failing to distinguish between them has led to a lot of confusion, in some cases deliberate distortion. Now you'll see the word Kabbalah spelled a lot of different ways. When it's talking about authentic Jewish Kabbalah, it'll most often be spelled with a K. Sometimes these are not hard, fast rules, by the way. If it's occult Kabbalah, New Age Kabbalah, sometimes it'll be spelled with a C or a Q. Again, all of these are technically valid ways of spelling Kabbalah in English, but culturally, the New Age mysticism, the New Age occult crowd, and Hermetic Kabbalah have gravitated to spelling Kabbalah with a Q and a C. And in Jewish Kabbalah, it's most often spelled with a K. Now, before we get going, I need to ask you to please donate to support this work. You can do that by clicking on the donate link in the video description, or by sending donations by PayPal to donations@wnae.org. Now, when you click on the donate link, you can donate by PayPal, Zelle, or GoFundMe. If you possibly can, today I need you to donate by PayPal or Zelle. We are right now sitting at almost $1,000 in the negative in our bank account that we must cover by the end of the day today. So if you possibly can donate, please do. Unfortunately, GoFundMe donations take 2 or 3 days to actually reach us. So we actually have some funds in GoFundMe that are on their way to us, but we won't actually be getting them until tomorrow or Wednesday, and that won't help us clear the account tonight. We've got to clear the account tonight, or we'll end up with a chain effect of returned items and fees. So please donate if you can to support this work. For those that don't know, I do this from home, as I am the caretaker for my wife, who is chronically ill, suffers chronic pain, and is disabled. Okay? So donate if you possibly can. And also, like our video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you get notified when new videos come out. Tell your friends about these videos. Share them on social media and in emails. Let us know what you think in the comments. And this was a video that was inspired actually by a message that we got from somebody that was concerned about the fact that we were offering a Kabbalah class. And by the way, if you're interested, we are offering a Kabbalah class that will start next month and will last 4 months. And it will talk about the Kabbalah, the Zohar, the basic Kabbalistic literature, the concept of Elohim as Ein Sof, the infinite one, and as the reflected, as emanated as the 3 pillars, with the middle pillar being known in the Zohar as the Son of Yah. We'll talk about Metatron, which many identify with the Messiah, and all kinds of interesting things about understanding the mysteries of Elohim, the mysteries of the universe, and the mysteries of our own souls. And it will potentially be a stepping stone to advanced classes in some other things that we'll talk about when that time comes. But the person responded they were concerned about Kabbalah because they'd heard negative information about Kabbalah. And that's what I want to address here today. Jewish Kabbalah is ancient, deeply rooted in Torah, the prophets, and the rabbinic traditions. It is the inner mystical dimension of Judaism. But in the Renaissance in the 1500s, a very different movement emerged called Christian Kabbalah, and that one is almost always spelled with a C. Certain Christian scholars try to combine Jewish Kabbalah with Christian mysticism, and some mixed in pagan Hermeticism. The teaching ascribed to Hermes Trismegistus, I never pronounce this, I read it, Trismegistus, whom the Egyptians knew as the Egyptian god Thoth, or Thoth. This created a blend of what has come to be known as Hermetic Kabbalah, oftentimes spelled with a C or a Q, which evolved into what most people today know as occult Kabbalah. Let's be clear. Hermetic Kabbalah is not Jewish Kabbalah. It is twisted. In fact, ironically, the Kabbalah that most people have heard about that they have such concerns with, is Gentile Kabbalah that actually has its root in Christianity, not Jewish Kabbalah. Grew out of Gentile reinterpretations of Christian mysticism and pagan Hermeticism, not Jewish tradition. In fact, let me read you how one Hermetic Kabbalist describes it in a book titled Paths of Wisdom, which is a book on Hermetic Kabbalah by an occultist hermeticist named John Michael Greer. He says this on pages 21 through 22 of his book. Quote, in devout Jewish circles in which Kabbalah had its origins, involved using the idea of symbolic alphabet as a way to interpret the holy books of Judaism. ... This belief can still be found today in Kabbalistic circles within Orthodox Judaism. But the main current of the magical Kabbalistic tradition, i.e. Hermetic Kabbalah, passed long ago beyond dogmatic reliance on any one traditional set of scriptures. That says it all. Self-confessed. Says it all. Hermetic Kabbalah intentionally departs from Jewish Kabbalah. So any attempt to discredit Jewish Kabbalah because Hermetic Kabbalah's occult connection is dishonest. It's like trying to discredit Yeshua because of the pagan roots of Christmas. In fact, not only is Jewish Kabbalah not sorcery and witchcraft, the Zohar specifically warns in Volume 1, page 125b, quote, all species of witchcraft are linked up with and proceed from the primeval serpent, who is the foul and unclean spirit. Authentic Jewish Kabbalah has nothing to do with the occult distortions that grew up in Renaissance Europe. Okay, before we continue here, I do want to remind you that we do have a number of books available, and I will be putting a link to a page where all of our books are laid out. But we've recently published The Gospel According to the Hebrews, reconstructed in Hebrew and in a literal English translation. This is a lost gospel we've talked about many times on this channel. That was the original Jewish gospel. It was the basis for our four gospels, and it was also served as a source for certain apocryphal gospels, like the infancy gospel of Thomas, the Proto-Evangelion of James, the Gospel of Nicodemus. It also served as a source text even for the apostate Gospel of Barnabas from the Middle Ages, and a source text for the hostile parody on the Gospels called the Torah Yeshu. At any rate, I've published this. It's the result of 40 years of research, and it's reconstructed the entire Gospel, and it's available on Amazon. The link to my own website, where we have links to the Amazon pages for each of my books, will be in the video description. We also have a great book on the Hebrew and Aramaic origins of the New Testament, and we have a book on the restoration of the ancient sect of the Nazarenes, of Nazarene Judaism, and many others. A great book called The Torah for All Generations Forever. So check out our books on that books page. I want to get back to our subject here, though. The great Kabbalist. Oh, one more thing. If you want to take the Kabbalah class, please reach out to us. You can send an email to Clear Truth. That's Clear Truth, all one word, at yahoo.com. Title it Kabbalah class in the subject, and provide me your email address, your name, and your phone number, and I will get back with you about enrolling you in the class. Okay, so this is of course relevant right now, September of 2025. We're going to start the class in October of 2025. So if you want to inquire about future classes, if you're watching this at another date, email that same address, and I'll respond to you and let you know what the status is right now. But right now, if you're watching this in September of 2025, email me and we'll see about getting you in the class. There's a limited number of spots. Okay, so the great Kabbalist Isaac Luria taught that Messiah is the heart of Kabbalah. And when we turn to the so-called New Testament, we see that it is steeped in Kabbalistic concepts. The writers of these texts were clearly Kabbalists themselves, in any reasonable terms. Some critics argue the opposite, that Kabbalah was influenced by the New Testament, but when we look at the writings of Philo and the Dead Sea Scrolls and the ancient Aramaic Targums, we find undeniable evidence that Kabbalistic ideas predate the New Testament, and the New Testament borrowed Kabbalah, not the other way around. For example, let's talk about the image of Elohim. At the very heart of Kabbalah is the mystery of the image of Elohim from Genesis chapter 1. Let us make man in our image after our likeness, it says in the Torah, Genesis 1, 26 through 27. This image is not a simple metaphor. In Kabbalah, it's the manifestation of the Godhead, the original blueprint for Adam, known as Adam Kadmon, the primordial Adam, or the primordial man. Aryeh Kaplan, Orthodox rabbi and Kabbalist, he wrote, the form or image of Elohim in which he created man is actually Elohim's blueprint for man, referred to as Adam Kadmon. He wrote that in his book Bahir. It was his translation of the Bahir, by Aryeh Kaplan, page 95. Gershom Scholem puts it this way. He writes, the mystical human form, Adam Kadmon, who is none other than the concealed shape of the Godhead itself. And the ancient Jewish philosopher Philo of Alexandria says this. He says, God was guided by his own word, his logos, in the formation of man. That's in On Creation by Philo 139. For Philo, the logos is both the divine blueprint and the Messiah. The New Testament echoes this. It says in Colossians 1:15, the Son is the image of the invisible Elohim. In 2 Corinthians 4:4, the Messiah who is the likeness of Elohim. Hebrews 1:13, the Son who is the radiance of his glory and the image of his being. And that word radiance in Hebrew is literally Zohar. So the Kabbalistic idea of the Adam Kadmon, the primordial image, is directly tied to the Messiah in both Philo and the New Testament. I'll talk briefly here about the middle pillar of the Godhead, but we actually did I think a 2 or 3 parts video series on this channel a few years ago actually, on the middle pillar of the Godhead, or the 3 pillars of the Godhead. And the Zohar teaches that there are 3 pillars of the Godhead, and that the middle pillar is called the Son of Yah. Let's talk about the Shema. Deuteronomy 6:4. The Shema says, "Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our Elohim, Yahweh is one." That's Deuteronomy 6:4. Kabbalah teaches in the Zohar that the word echad, one, refers not to a bare singularity, but to a unified whole, like a man and a woman becoming one flesh in Genesis 2:24. The Zohar says, Yahweh Eloheinu Yahweh. These are one, 3 aspects that are one. That's volume 2, page 43. These are known as the 3 pillars of the Godhead, the right, the left, and the middle pillar. The middle pillar reconciles the 2 outer pillars, and the Zohar identifies this middle pillar as the Son of Yah. That's right. The Zohar talks about the Son of Yah. The Zohar says in volume 2, page 115, better is a neighbor that is near than a brother far off. The neighbor is the middle pillar in the Godhead, which is the Son of Yah. Elsewhere, the Zohar calls this figure Metatron, the firstborn, the great mediator of creation. This is the same figure that Philo calls the Logos, the Word of God, the firstborn Son, the archangel of many names, and is the same figure that the Targums describe as the Memra, the Word of Yahweh, who creates, makes covenants, and saves. In other words, the Son of Yah is the Logos, the Memra. All describe the middle pillar, the divine word, the heart of both Kabbalah and the New Testament. In fact, a number of Orthodox rabbis have come to believe that Yeshua was the Messiah, and in every case that I'm aware of, they did so because of things that they discovered in Kabbalah, including my mentor, the late Rabbi Armand Danny Moyal. So let's put it all together. True Jewish Kabbalah is not occultism. It's the inner dimension of the Torah. It reveals the mystery of the image of Elohim, Adam Kadmon, the middle pillar of the Godhead, the Son of Yah. Hermetic Kabbalah, by contrast, is a Renaissance invention, a twisting of Kabbalah, Christian mysticism mixed with pagan Hermeticism. It's a foreign system that has little to do with real Jewish Kabbalah. So the next time someone tries to dismiss Kabbalah by pointing to Hermetic occulticism, remember they're confusing 2 entirely different traditions. As the Zohar says, the wisdom of Kabbalah reveals the secret of God's unity, and it is the heart. Its heart is the Messiah. Okay, well that's all I have for today. I just want to remind you again one more time to please donate to support this work. We are in a terrible financial crisis today. We are really need your support. So anything you can possibly donate to today, please donate by going to the video description and clicking on the donate link. And if you can today, please donate by PayPal or Zelle, because GoFundMe funds take 2 or 3 days to get to us, and we are really in need of funds by the end of the day today. So please donate to support this work, and you can also donate by sending donations by PayPal to donations@wnae.org. Until next time, everybody, shalom.